Wednesday. Let's talk about everything happened on March 11th. A quiet night in the NBA, only 4 games, so let's talk about it. The first game, the Brooklyn Nets have been competitive in so many games. This game on the road versus the Cavaliers, one of the best teams, it was only a 5-point game. Cam Thomas had 27 points, his best game in 3 months, maybe. Surprised he even played. And D'Lo, of course, was out. It's been very frustrating. But what are you gonna do? If you're gonna draft Cam Thomas next year, right? He's gonna have the same risk if he does get hurt. Claxton and Cameron Johnson, for whatever reason, right? They're playing them big minutes. I guess they're healthy. Cameron Johnson only 28 minutes because he had 4 fouls, but really good game. 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 threes, 2 steals, and a block. Zara Williams hit 4 threes, 14 points. That's also pretty good. Claxton added 2 blocks. And Keon Johnson was just horrible. 0 for 4, playing 29 minutes. But he could be a streamer if they have a back-to-back. For the Cavaliers, Darius Garland, they didn't have Donovan Mitchell. Maybe that contributed to only a 5-point win here. Darius Garland had 30 points, 4 steals, and 8 assists. Just amazing. It's crazy how big of a difference 1 year makes. And it's not like Darius Garland, as a player, got that much better, right? Obviously, he probably worked on it over the summer, but last year he was pretty bad. Efficiency-wise, obviously he was also hurt most of the year. Get a new coach, healthy, and just, playing really good basketball this year for Darius Garland. And I don't know when, for teams like OKC and the Cavaliers, they obviously want to be the best. They want to have the best record in the NBA, but they have such a big lead on the Eastern. Like, is it worth to, depend on your situation, is it worth to chase for the number 1 spot in the entire NBA? I don't know what is really the probability that they are playing each other in the finals. It's there, the probability is there, but, the reward is, you get the home court, but the risk is, you're playing all these guys huge minutes all the way to the playoffs. But another thing about the Eastern Conference teams is whatever team they play, whatever team, 8th seed they're going to be playing, is going to be a very weak team. It's probably going to be the Magic or the Atlanta Hawks or the Miami Heat, right? So they basically have a first round bye. And then in the second round, right now they probably play the Bucks, which they do have 2 superstars. But based on what we see in the regular season, that honestly should not be too bad either. But we'll see. And then they play probably the Celtics. So they really have one tough matchup, in my opinion. Versus the West, there's a lot. For OKC to get out of the West, they're going to have to play 2 very tough series. Who knows, maybe even 3, depending on who is the 8th seed. If the Warriors are the 8th seed, it could be very tough too. Anyway, move on to the next one. Speaking of the bad Eastern Conference team, the Wizards, they lost to Detroit. Detroit is coming up. They just got their 6th seed. And oh my God, the Detroit Pistons right now are tied with the Milwaukee Bucks, record-wise. So they could be the 4th seed. Who knows? If they're the 4th seed, Cavs playing them in the second round. I'm not saying Pistons is a bad team or anything, but come on. If Cavs are playing the Atlanta Hawks in the first round and playing the Detroit Pistons in the second, or the Indiana Pacers in the second, their road to the final is really just one. They got to win 1 series versus the Celtics, and that's it in the NBA Finals. For the Wizards, Keyshawn George continues to play really well, in my opinion, in category leagues. Hit 2 threes here, 3 steals and a block, 12 points. Happy with that. Jordan Poole, the minutes a bit low, for a couple of reasons. This is also a blowout too. But as long as he's playing, he still hit 3 threes and 2 steals, so that's fine. Bob Carrington, even though he came off the bench, played 31 minutes, so let's continue to roster him. Alex Sarr and Rashawn Holmes, they're splitting the minutes this game at least. Otherwise, I think Alex Sarr is going to play, 5-6 more minutes. But for him, it's all about the blocks. He had 1 block here. And Chris Middleton also played 24 minutes. That's what he does. With Bilo Coulibaly out, I think Justin Champagne is a guy that we could look for 3-and-D and some rebounds. Right, he grabbed 8 rebounds here, pretty good. And he's going to hit some threes. And usually pretty good efficiency. He went 2 for 8 here. For Detroit, we know they're a great defensive team. Ausar Thompson, but he fouled a lot. So he had 4 fouls in 20 minutes. That's fine. Jalen Duren, 13 rebounds and 2 blocks. I just feel like he's been blocking a lot of shots lately. So it's just more energized on defense. As your team is winning, I think, guys gotta be more motivated playing good basketball, especially if they are defenders. Like their job is to defend. They're gonna get more defensive stats. That's great. Kate Cunningham, of course, the best player on this team by far. 27 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds. Just doing what he does. Another easy win for Detroit. The next one, this game actually matters a lot because Bucks, Pacers, right now they're tied for the 4th, 5th seed. Same thing with Detroit. And the fact that Pacers beat the Bucks is actually huge. If you have Giannis, you have Damian Lillard, this is actually good for you. That means they're going to play all the way till the playoffs. They're going to play all their players until the end because the race is probably going to be tight. I don't see them make a playoff run, to be honest. Damian Lillard, their roster, right? It's like they get rid of Middleton. You look at the roster compared to some of the other teams. Maybe they do have good players, but like they're just not using them correctly. They got Kevin Porter Jr., right? He's a -6 here. Like the bench was just no good, and Kyle Kuzma was in the -18. I still don't understand the Kyle Kuzma trade. Maybe I'm wrong. When playoff comes around, Kyle Kuzma gonna have a couple big games. He had 9 points. Doesn't do anything else, right? If you don't need points, 100%, you drop Kyle Kuzma in fantasy. Brook Lopez, he had a big one, 23 points and 2 threes, but the blocks are disappearing. Or the blocks at for Brook Lopez. If he's not blocking shots, he's also a guy that you should. Okay, I mean he provided good points and threes. This game, but most of the time he's not really scoring that much. So really just threes and blocks. That's what he does. Taurean Prince could be a streamer because he got 30+ minutes. If you want threes and defense, you could go for that. And Damian Lillard and Giannis, none of them really had a good game, right? The Pacers, they are not known for their defense, but held both of their star players to under 20 points, which is very, very hard to do, actually. For the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton actually had a crazy 4-point play to win the game. Giannis just made a huge mistake there. You were up by 3. You foul Tyrese. Usually, obviously you want to defend, but you do not want to foul because if you foul, even he missed a shot, that's 3 free throws. Anyway, Tyrese made the shot, 2 threes, 10 assists. He did not even have a good game. Siakam popped off with 25 points, 3 threes, 12 rebounds, and a steal. That's pretty good. Aaron Nesmith now get most of the minutes over Benedict. So another 3-and-D guy. There's so many 3-and-D guys in the league. So for sure, you could stream him. And Miles Turner had 2 blocks. But played just 20 minutes because the 4 fouls. And Andrew Nembhard, right, with Tyrese Halliburton back, he still get good minutes, but yeah. And the funny thing is, with Tyrese Halliburton out, if you stream TJ McConnell, he played like 2 minutes. In this game, with Tyrese came back, he played 21 minutes and had 12 points, 7 assists, 4 steals, and blocks. So he obviously popped off here. So that's great. If you just had him on your roster, contributed a lot to your team across multiple categories. Last game of the night, we have the Pelicans beating the Clippers. That is no good for the Clippers. Clippers clearly trying to compete. They're the 8th seed right now. I mean, I feel like Clippers play Thunder, they might be cooked. But, let me think. They still, at the end of the day, they still have Kawhi and James Harden. Right. If a full healthy Kawhi, right. I look at Shea and Kawhi, they do have some similarities. Like Kawhi doesn't get to the line as much as Shea, and you could argue like, okay, Shea is better offensively. But during Kawhi's prime, or whenever he's healthy in the playoffs, because usually Kawhi, he's not an efficient player. He doesn't really chase for the stats in the regular season. And usually most of the teams that he's been on, right, is not, it's just not set up for him to score 30 points, right? On the Clippers, you got Paul George, right? Before he joined the Clippers, on the Spurs, right? If you put a prime Kawhi in Shea's situation, I think he could average 30 as well. So offensively, Kawhi is pretty good. I think, and also his true shooting is super efficient. He can shoot the 3 better than Shea. Mid-range, he's also a killer. It's just like, the teams that he's been on, he doesn't, and also he's kind of injury prone. If he has such a high usage, right, he's gonna wear down really quickly. But if Kawhi is fully healthy, watch out. And the biggest issue with Kawhi has always been like, okay, the playmaking, right? He doesn't really play make that much. Same thing with Shea. But now you got Kawhi and Harden. If that's the matchup, not saying like, I think it could be like 6 or 7 games. Who knows? Harden had 17 assists. A really good game, but they lost to the Pelicans, which is hard to believe. So that just tells you the Western Conference teams. I mean, yeah. Zubac, 11 rebounds, 4 blocks. That's really good. Batum did his thing. 1 steal and 2 blocks. Like in the short term, we could. Well, Chris Dunn, yeah. Assist, steals, we got to have him. And Batum, we can stream for 3 and D. For the Pelicans, let's see what happened. Why are they so good? So they played CJ McCollum this game. Just for fun, I guess. If he's healthy, yeah. 5 3, 7 assists, 3 steals, really good game from him. And Trey Murphy added 21 points. He's just been so good this year. Efficiency-wise, field goal is a little bit low, but he just provides so many other things. And Zion had a triple-double. Yeah. Zion missed most of the first half. Second half, he's still missing games, but he comes in and put up good numbers, to be honest. If you punting free throws, he's good, actually. Really good field goal, really good points, right? This game, we see he got 12 assists as well. So big win for the Pelicans. And Jose Alvarado, I think, especially with CJ out, he for sure is a really good stream. But here, he still played okay. Actually played really well. Hit 4 threes, 4 assists, and 2 steals. That's it, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.